everybody? Elvin Lantigua here, and today we're going to talk about VA loan. All right, we're going to try to condense it as quick as possible, just so that way you can understand the basics of the VA loan, and if you were trying to even think about using it. First things first, what's most important? Do you qualify for the VA loan? So there are a few factors that you have to look into. So first off, if you're active duty, you're going to need at least 90 days of active duty service while you're active duty, and that does not include basic training. So if you're in boot camp, you got to kick that part out, start it after basic. All right, now let's say you're a veteran. If you're a veteran, you must have done at least 24 months of active duty service for you to qualify, okay? And last but not least, reservists. Reservists, you do qualify as well, but you're gonna need at least 6 years of reservist duty plus the 90 days minimum of active duty service. All of this does not include boot camp, so it all starts after basic training. All right, so that's who qualifies. So what's next is to know who to go to, selecting a realtor. Hey, listen, you might want to, anybody, technically any realtor can help you with the VA, but many people aren't aware. I do recommend to look for yourself. There's a lot of active duty service members, as well as reservists and veterans. Try to keep it within the family. Only reason I say that is because we talk the same talk, we understand each other's culture, and we're able to help each other out. So yes, I am a veteran. I've been in the Marine Corps for 10 years. I am able to help you out, but just like me, there are many others like me, both still serving and that have gotten out. So when it comes to that, look first to start in that circle. Then look into transparency. How many clients are taking on at the same time. Now, if they're an expert, they are able to take many on at the same time. You want to look at how quick do you want to get into somewhere and how much time does the person have for you. So these are the type of things you're looking for a realtor. When you're looking at a lender, you're looking at for two things: the best possible rate, and if you are interested, the highest possible purchase price that you could be pre-approved for. You're also looking at how the letter is written. Sometimes, like I personally, if you gotta look for the seller's eyes. The seller's eyes, if they look at at somebody who just came up with a PDF file, that does happen, it's okay. But sometimes people will send a Word file just saying this person is qualified. So really look at when you receive that pre-approval, how is it written? Was it written professionally? Was it written, a little lazy? Was it written extremely elegant? I'm not saying that that's going to be like, oh, it was done beautiful with graphics and everything. That is some way. I do personally look for something like that. I do recommend you do too. I never say that's always a guarantee, but for me, as a realtor, usually realtors already have lenders that they prefer and that they work with because they trust them. And the most important thing that a realtor can have is reputation. So they usually try not to give you a lender that's irreputable or that can tarnish the realtor's relationship. So that's why I say to start with a realtor, because they can turn you to that path. But let's just say that you did start with the lender, it's okay. Because guess what? Lenders also care about their reputation, and they're gonna do their best to send you to a realtor that won't tarnish their own reputation. So now you've got your pre-approval. You must get your pre-approval. The reason being is that A, you don't know what you qualify for. You might think you qualify for $700,000, but guess what? Right after boot camp, you bought that nice Mustang, and it's not looking real good right now. You still owe a little bit of money on it. So I can't speak as a lender, but I do know some of the biggest things that they look for is not just your credit score, but they're also looking at your debt to income ratio, okay? So make sure that you keep both of those two things, well, not both, right? Make sure you keep your debt to income ratio as low as possible and your credit score as high as possible. So once you have your realtor, you have your pre-approval, you're ready to look at homes. If you're looking for a home, you can look. Now you gotta see what homes are qualified for. You can look for single family residence, no problem. Townhomes, not a problem. Mobile homes, you wanna make sure you can look for a mobile home, but it must be fixed on permanent land, and you must be buying that land as well, so you can't be rented, that land can't be rented out. You must actually own that piece of land, and the home must be fixated on a foundation. So yes, there are, they call them mobile homes, but also called modular homes. So modular homes that are fixated on a permanent foundation with land that you also bought, you do qualify. But a mobile home with wheels on rented land, you do not qualify for. There's a few other things, but I just like to mention the big ones. Condos, okay? So condos have to be VA approved. So that's another reason to have a lender that has VA experience, because if they worked in the local area, they already know, have a basic understanding of what condos do and do not qualify for the VA. So it all really just depends on what you're looking for and who you're speaking to. So now that you identified the home that you want to put in your offer. Best thing about the VA loan, $0 down on the loan. Okay, that's very important to understand. $0 down on the loan. So I was able to buy my home and I didn't have to put any money towards the loan. However, there are upfront fees that you have to take care of. So one of the upfront fees is called the earnest money deposit. What's an earnest money deposit? So the earnest money deposit is going to be, you have to put at least 1% down of the purchase price up front. This shows that you have skin in the game and that you're serious to the seller, right? I always say, if you're a buyer, think about the seller and what the seller's thinking. If you're saying, yeah, I'm going to throw $1 million down, how do I know you're serious? That you don't just walk away from the deal. So traditionally, you want to put 1% down of your offer to show you're serious. And there are conditions that protect you, like let's say that it doesn't pass certain home inspections or you can't agree on certain repairs. Yes, you can walk away with that deposit. But let's just say you get cold feet and decide to walk away after the offer is accepted. The seller gets to keep your money. This is, once again, to take care of both sides and ensure that if you're the seller, that you're accepting an offer and you know that person is serious. So you want to make sure you're serious always, once again. So that's going to be the earnest money deposit. Another upfront cost you have to be prepared for, especially in today's seller market, is going to be the closing costs. So I'm not saying that we can't negotiate. You really want to look at how many days something's been on the market. Usually the first 2 weeks, you're not going to be able to negotiate that. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. But from what I've seen, the first 2 weeks, you're probably going to see first 14 days on the market. There's a good chance if you want to get that house, you're going to want to pay your own closing costs. Now, if it's probably 3 weeks or beyond, and this is the San Diego area I'm talking about, you're gonna probably have a chance to probably negotiate that a little bit. So basically, the closing cost takes care of all the fees, all the backdoor fees that you're not aware of. We're talking about title, processing, escrow. A lot of things go into the closing costs. Probably a whole nother video for that. But just know in today's market, in San Diego specifically, you're looking to about let's say $7,000 to $10,000. I always like to be conservative and say $10,000 in your own closing costs. All right. So that's going to take care of. So now we're looking at the earnest money deposit. By the way, this is very important. The earnest money deposit goes into your closing costs. So what I'm saying is, if you put down, let's say, a $500,000 home, that means you got to put down $5,000. All right, and you're going to pay closing costs, which are $10,000. You can subtract your deposit from the closing costs, and then you just got to pay the $5,000. So that way, that's all you're going to owe. Obviously, you're not going to get the deposit back because it went into your closing costs. So just think about that as an early, small down payment for those upfront costs. The other upfront costs you have to think about is appraisal, which usually goes into your closing costs. And you also want to think about the home inspection. Home inspections usually run $200 to $500 depending on quality and square footage of the home. When it comes to a realtor, they usually already have recommended people. The recommended people is because they trust these, they've already been trusted. They know that the home inspector has proven themselves to be qualified for that. Now, I'm not saying that don't use a seller's home inspector, but that can get kind of funny sometimes if you go to a seller and the seller who wants to sell a home is going to recommend to you a home inspector. Now, again, I'm not saying that it's not, I'm just saying to probably choose your own. And if you're working with a buying agent, then yes, use a buying agent. But if the agent is representing both the buyer and the seller, then it's up to your own discretion whether or not you want to. If you trust your realtor, trust what they have to say. That's why you hired them. So make sure that that you listen to what they have to say. So again, that takes care of those three things: the closing costs, the earnest money deposit, and when I'm in the earnest money deposit, I am counting the closing costs and as well as the home inspection. So these are the things. So if you're actually looking realistically at how much money you should have up front, we're probably looking at 10 to 15 grand. Okay, 10,000 is good 15 grand is safe, and that's the upfront cost. Again, none of this goes into the loan, so it is zero down, but you still have to have this money saved up for upfront costs. So, I mean, if you ask me, 15 grand for a home in San Diego, that's a price hard to beat. Another thing I want to talk about the VA loan, you do not have to worry about what's called PMI, or primary mortgage insurance, okay? So the mortgage insurance, anytime you have, like, say, a conventional loan of 20% down, if you can't match that 20%, and maybe you could just put down a 15 or 10%, you're gonna have to pay probably an extra $300 to $500 a month on your home to cover the chance that you can't afford the home. With the VA and the zero down, you don't have to worry about that insurance, so you don't have to put that on your monthly cost. So again, that VA loan is something you really want to take advantage of. It's something that really works to your benefit, especially in this market. Now, are there cons? There can be. So one of the biggest things that I've seen is that if you, let's say, once again, San Diego, the market right now is hot. This is a seller's market. On average, you are going to be paying 10 to maybe 30, sometimes even $40,000 over the listed price, just because of the competition for that home. Now, if the appraisal comes underneath what you're paying, that's all that the VA loan is going to cover. So again, if the listed price is $500,000 and you offered $600,000 for that home and the offer is accepted, but the appraisal comes at $500,000, then you're going to be responsible for personally paying that $100,000 up front, because the VA is only going to cover what the appraisal says. All right, so there are, again, that's a whole nother video right there, but that is something to look into. It really does help if you're in that situation. And maybe you just say something safe like 30,000 over, that you show that you have the money to cover just in case it does come 5 or 10 grand below. So again, I think that's one of the primary cons of the VA loan. You can't waive that appraisal. It is required. And again, that is for your safety, to ensure that you're not being taken advantage of in any market. If you have any questions about anything, you can please feel free to reach out to me at MyRealtorElvin on Instagram. I also have a YouTube page with where you're listening at right now. So please, if you got anything, let's talk. I'm in San Diego. I work from here, San Isidro, all the way up to Marietta. More than happy to help you out. So until next time, let me stop sweating and enjoy your day.